Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. So I came across something today because it was kind of like under the radar a little bit until I watched Chicks Dig Scars YouTube channel, and he was talking about an issue that I did not. So shout out to him for this information, because I think as he alluded to, I think a lot of people have not really paid attention to it, and a lot of people probably like sweeping this under the rug. So we need to bring this out to light a little bit more. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's about Caitlin Clark and her injury status. What is really going on with Caitlin Clark injury status? Is she injured? Is she not injured? What is the deal? How long has she been healthy? Why she's not been practicing? Why they keep giving us vague answers? Why there's reports about her coming out weeks later about another injury, so forth and so on. Now, Sophie Cunningham, we know when she get on her podcast, there's a lot of things she be spilling, a lot of things she be saying, a lot of things she be talking. And you know, when it comes down to women, they love to talk. And sometimes they could talk too much. Now, there's one part of this video that I want y'all to pay a very, very close attention to, because I had to pay a close attention to it too, because it's the words, it's how she worded, it's how she gave into it, but then try to pull it back out. She kind of went around it a little bit. Now, hey, you can interpret it the way you want to interpret it, but for me, it's a whole lot that is going on. And sometimes, you know what the saying goes, right? If there's smoke, there's fire. So I've been playing this video back and forth, and I'm gonna let y'all judge for yourself.
Is Caitlin close? How's she coming along?
Dude, I don't know. Everyone keeps asking. Everyone's like, you know, and I'm like, literally, she doesn't even know. It's just like a day by day legit type of thing. And so, yeah, she's close, but like, you also have to remember, like, she could be playing if it wasn't in the WNBA by now. But like at this level, with how.
Did you catch that part? She's close. First, she said, I don't know. But people asking her, you do know. And she's like, no, I don't know. So then she said, well, she's close. But Caitlin could be playing in the WNBA by now. So I'm going to play it again.
Is Caitlin close? How's she coming along?
Dude, I don't know. Everyone keeps asking. Everyone's like, you know, and I'm like, literally, she doesn't even know. It's just like a day by day legit type of thing. And so, yeah, she's close, but like, you also have to remember, like, she could be playing if it wasn't in the WNBA by now, but like at this level, with how deep and like how good people are nowadays in our league, which is.
See, that's not even the point of how good the players in the W. It's like she's saying, oh, Caitlin's ready, but she's not ready. You know, depends on what the other players in the WNBA are. That don't even sound right to me. That don't even sound right, because if she's been healthy, why she's not been out there? Are y'all planning on holding her out to the playoffs or until you get to the playoffs? There's a whole lot going on in that situation that I just don't.
Is Caitlin close? How's she coming along?
Dude, I don't know. Everyone keeps asking. Everyone's like, you know, and I'm like, literally, she doesn't even know. It's just like a day by day legit type of thing. And so, yeah, she's close, but like, you also have to remember, like, she could be playing if it wasn't in the WNBA by now, but like at this level, with how deep and like how good people are nowadays in our league, which is the best it's ever been, like you can't just be good. You have to be on top of your game. And so just trying to get her back in game shape, I think, is what they're trying to do. But like, again, it's literally a day by day. I'm not holding out any.
She said it's literally a day by day. It is one of those things that you have to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, she's there, but she's not there. If this was any other league, she'd have been playing by now. So that means to me is that maybe they getting her mentally prepared, maybe they getting her physically prepared, or they seen some things that we not seen. Me personally, now if she's ready to go and they just been holding her out for a long period of time until the Fever make the playoffs, and then just say, "Oh, you know what? Hey, Caitlin is ready to go. She's back." Because honestly, I thought about this the other day, and then I thought about this last night on my live stream. I was saying, you know what? Hey, what if Caitlin Clark did came back for the playoffs? Because they know for a fact if the Fever makes the playoff, the ratings won't be as popular as they think it would be. But if you had Caitlin Clark return back from injury and make it to the playoff and say they win the first round of the playoff, then guess what? The league wins. The league, the TV revenue, everything pops off back again because everybody's going to be clamoring to Fever games, to see Caitlin Clark play. They're gonna spend money, they're gonna generate revenue. All of this stuff, TV ratings is gonna go skyrocket. And I sat back and think about it. I said, what if she's already been ready? What if she's been practicing under the radar and none of us know? What if they just gave the political correct answer in the media and not giving us the real answer behind it and say, you know what, hey, she's ready. And they just use, oh, she's been running in practice and they just doing all this circumvent stuff just to keep us off they trail. But then you hear Sophie come out and say, "Oh yeah, dude, I don't know," and she's like trying to be nonchalant. And then you can always tell by looking at a person in their eyes if they telling the truth. Now I'm not saying Sophie's lying or anything. No, I'm not saying that at all, guys. But y'all smart enough to read between the lines. Y'all have watched sports just as long as I have to read between the lines. You could tell when there's PR things being used in sports to cover up certain things. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out at all. The thing about it is that what if Caitlin Clark has been clear to play for a while and they just been holding her out just to see how this team is going to continue to perform without her? Now, to me, I think that would be stupid. I think it would be malicious intent of being wrong and playing with the public and the fans, knowing that, hey, we could have had Caitlin Clark playing at a high level and we could have been in a better position in the playoffs standings wise. Now, me personally, like, I think I want to believe Sophie, but after and don't get me wrong, I do like Sophie Cunningham. I'm one of her biggest fans, just like y'all. But I smell so much PR move now than ever. And you think about it, she's really been the only one talking a lot about the Caitlin Clark injury or things that's been going around the Fever. She got on her podcast. You notice Leah Boston, when she gets on her podcast, she don't talk about stuff. She just keeps it innocent, low down to the ground. Candace Parker be the one asking her these questions, bringing it out and stuff like that. You can tell they know something. You could tell there's something there. There's something going on behind the scenes. I don't have to sit here and convince you, because the fact of the matter is that if Caitlin Clark is injured, then they announce some point in time she's out for the season. But I'm going to tell you this. If Caitlin Clark is not injured and she comes back around the playoffs, you could always go back to this video and listen to me closely that I said all of this probably been a PR stunt just to keep her healthy. They want her healthy. She could have been practicing behind the scenes. We don't know. We don't know. They don't show a lot of practice. You remember last year or early in the season, they were showing so much footage of practice, the team working out. They were doing all of this, building chemistry. For the last few months, how much practice have you seen from the Indiana Fever? Because a lot of people have been questioning. They was off for 5 days. Recently, they lost a close game to the Minnesota Lynx. What have they been doing for 5 days? We seen them out playing Top Golf. Chloe Bibby just got a recent injury. So what does that go to tell you what this team is doing behind the scenes? They could be doing something else that we have not seen. They could tell, hey, Chloe Peterson, Scott Agnes, we don't want no photos. Tony East, we don't want no photos of anything. We're going to run practice. And then all of a sudden, they just give you a glimpse of Caitlin Clark on the sideline doing something else. But we don't know. She could have been practicing with the team, and they've been keeping it under wraps for a while. So you got to look at two sides of everything. My mom always tell me there's two sides of every coin. And you got to look at it from each angle. You got to look at it from a non-factual and a factual side of it. Because the fact of the matter is, guys, is that we don't know. We speculating, assuming, guessing, but we don't know. And that's the thing that I keep thinking. I use logic, and I'm a very critical thinker in a lot of different ways. So I think a lot. I kind of play some devil advocate scenarios and stuff like that. So me personally, I just feel at the end of the day, when they get close to the playoffs, let me see, we got another week and a half left before the season ends. Pay close attention for the return of Caitlin Clark. Livewire Sports, subscribe, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.